Welcome to Training Tricks. Now, Training Tricks is designed to teach you the top 10 strength training principles that apply to almost every exercise. And because there's 21 exercises in this DVD, there's 3 groups of 7 different exercises, I thought I really didn't want to repeat the same information over and over throughout the entire DVD. And more so, you don't want to listen to me like I'm speaking to you from the Department of Redundancy department. So I'm going to get through this, listen to it one time, but apply these principles to every exercise that you do. Now, first and foremost, the most important principle is cardiovascular warm-up. You have to do something that warms up your entire body. And you can't do that with push-ups and squats. It's just too dangerous. So you want to do like a bike or a treadmill or a cross trainer or a cross-country ski machine, or even if you're at your house, you have no equipment, just walk up and down the stairs for a couple minutes and just bring blood flow to the muscles and the joints to make it safer. I thought no better place to do the cardiovascular warm-up than in front of my wall of fame here. My stepfather and one of my clients, a free client, actually just set the world record for swimming the English Channel this past summer. So at age 70, oldest person to ever do it, he swam it in 15 hours and 59 minutes, and I had the honor of being his coach on the boat throughout the entire swim. And anyway, you don't need to swim for that long. You don't need to exercise for that long during the cardiovascular warm-up. Just a few minutes will suffice. Make sure you have water. You can hyperhydrate yourself and some good reading material. Recognize this guy? So just something to keep yourself entertained, to force you to do it, because you're probably not going to want to. You're going to want to get right into the strength training, but make yourself do at least a few minutes of cardio. This doesn't qualify as your true cardio session. You can check out the cardiovascular training program at Healthy Introductions to Cardiovascular Training. But at least a few minutes just to get the blood moving. So that's it for the first principle. On to the next. Strength training principle number 2, flexibility. Never stretch to warm up. A lot of people think that stretching warms up the muscles. Is actually the worst thing you can do. You always want to warm up to stretch, not stretch to warm up. Now, muscles need to be pliable when you stretch them. You need to actually train them first. You can stretch in between sets. You can be stretching after the end of your entire workout program, but the muscle fibers contract like this. You need to pull them back out. You need to do some flexibility work. Just don't do it before you've exercised. You can do it after you do cardio, but don't stretch a cold muscle. It's like stretching cold taffy or cold silly putty. You pull it out and it snaps. You need to warm it up and make it pliable first. Like I wouldn't want to go out this to full range of motion, which on this is 180 degrees. Unless my muscles are very warm. I don't think I'd want to do it anyway. But and also, you don't need fancy equipment like this. You don't need elaborate equipment to stretch. Basically, this is not a stretching video. I'm not going to be able to go through this entire stretching program with you. You can check out Healthy Introductions to Flexibility Training at our website. But basically, you want to a muscle contracts in one direction, stretching is moving the opposite direction. So if your muscles contract like this for chest, you're basically stretching them by moving the opposite direction and holding. You always want to hold a stretch for like 20 or 30 seconds. It should be a static stretch, nice and gentle and easy, no bouncing. There's a lot of misinformation on stretching out there. You want to make sure you're stretching the muscles, not the ligaments. So anyway, that's principle number 2. Let's go on to the next. Strength training principle number 3. What's wrong with this picture? Me. What's wrong with this picture? Almost the same thing. Breathing is so important when you're doing strength training. A lot of people don't know when to breathe, so they don't breathe at all. Basically, whenever you're raising a weight, you want to breathe out. You want to exhale. When you're lowering a weight back down, you want to inhale. Or breathe normally. Maybe breathe a couple of times if you're moving slowly enough. So it's out when the weights are going up. Think about exhale on exertion or blow it up. You want to really open your glottis. You want to open your mouth. You get a lot of air out while you're driving a weight up. If you don't do that, if you close your glottis or even purse your lips and breathe like that, you're creating a back pressure. It's called a Valsalva maneuver, and it raises the blood pressure really, really high. It can double, triple, even quadruple your blood pressure, and you want to make sure you're exercising safely. If somebody was watching you from across the room, what I like to tell my clients is they shouldn't know how hard you're working. You should be acting. You should make it look easy. Even if your last repetition was very, very difficult, no one should really know how hard you're working. So I can hit the point of fatigue, not move the weight. Now, once in a while you can make a little facial grimace, but you really don't want to turn colors when you're exercising. It's one of the most important principles. It's just a safety issue. And especially when you're first starting up, and if you do have higher blood pressure, especially, you really need to make sure you're exhaling a lot. If in doubt, breathe out. So that's principle number 3. On to the next. Okay, 2 birds with 1 stone. Strength training principle number 4. We need to divide your body into different muscle groups. Basically, the menu system on this DVD is designed to work the push muscles all together, the leg muscles all together, and the pull muscles all together. Now, if you're doing a pushing exercise, something like this, you're using the chest, shoulders, and the triceps. You can't not use one of those 3 muscle groups. And a lot of clients, what they tend to do, they'll work like chest and shoulders on one day and maybe arms on the next day. And you're using your triceps when you do this exercise, so you can't do chest exercises on one day and then triceps on the next day without overtraining. You're gonna work your arms 2 days in a row. So this is chest, shoulder, triceps. Leg muscles you can work all together, and pull muscles. Say if I were to do one-handed chin-ups here, that's using back and biceps and forearms. So you want to work those all together as well. So you really need to organize your workouts. The menu system does that for you, but you should have a push workout day, a leg workout day, and a pull workout day. Now it's okay if you do these all in one day, so you don't get a chance to work out all week long, you can do all 21 exercises at one time. If you do 1 set per exercise, and it's about a minute per set, it would take you 21 minutes, not including rest. But you can do it all like that if you really need to. Probably a more ideal situation is to do push on one day, say Monday, take Tuesday off, do legs on Wednesday, take Thursday off, and then do pull muscles on Friday. So you have 3 days a week. Each workout takes you between 10 minutes and 30 minutes, and you're done for the week. So that's it. Organize your workouts into 3 separate groups, and on to the next. Strength training principle number 5, variety. Now, you want to keep changing your workouts so you're not physiologically and psychologically stale. Just keep doing things you're not used to. You don't want to keep doing exercises that you're good at. You want to do things you're not good at so your body can adapt and respond. Like we have over 100 machines in here, but we don't use machines all the time. We have a lot of dumbbells in here too. You got to use those. You got to use barbells. You got to do bodyweight exercises. Like for chest, say I was doing a bench press, a barbell's great, but you don't want to do it each and every workout. Sometimes do a machine, sometimes do a dumbbell press, sometimes do push-ups, and they all serve a purpose. Machines might work the muscle better through a full strength curve, a full range of motion, but bodyweight exercises are important too because it's real life activity. So variety is the spice of life. Make sure you do a lot of different exercises. On to the next. Strength training principle number 6, sets and reps. Now rep is short for repetition. Repetition is basically one lift of an exercise. It's raising a weight, it's doing a bench press, doing a leg extension, just one movement is one repetition. You usually want to do somewhere between 6 and like 15 or 20 repetitions. And that's another thing with variety. You don't want to always do the same number of repetitions. You want to kind of change it up a little bit. Sometimes do lower reps, sometimes do higher reps. And then one set is one grouping of repetitions. So say you did 2 sets of an exercise. That means you've done maybe 10 repetitions. That's one set. You take a break, you come back, you do another 10 repetitions. That's another set. So you've done 2 sets of 10 reps or repetitions. So when you do this, you may want to start with a little bit of a lighter weight first. You're not that conditioned if you haven't been training. And your body, there's an inverse relationship between intensity and duration. You want to kind of keep the intensity a little bit lower and maybe do a little bit more initially just to get your body used to the movement. You don't want to pile on the weight and do a high weight, low rep set. You don't want to put on twice the weight you can handle and only do 4 repetitions. Maybe do 10 or 12 to start with, maybe even 15. Then as you get stronger, sometimes you can do sets of lower numbers, like 6 to 8. Once in a while, you can throw in a real shocker and do like a century set, really lightweight, and do like 100 repetitions. But the key is just keeping a variety to the repetitions. It's not having a target number per se either. You don't want to just shoot for 15 reps and stop when you get there. You want to get to the point where it's basically almost impossible for you to move it, and that's when you stop, as long as you can safely and carefully do that. As far as sets go, there's really not that much reason to do a lot of sets. Like if you do 3 sets of an exercise, if I do 3 sets of bench press, I'm not necessarily going to get 3 times the benefit. Most of the benefit comes from the first set. Almost tricked you. So it comes from the first set. And that's why this whole menu system, if you just did those 7 exercises, 1 set of each, you're going to get most of the benefit. If you have time, you want to do additional sets or do like a warm-up set and then a heavier set, that's fine with me too. But the key is just keep changing it up, keep doing different things. That's it for sets and reps. On to the next. Strength training principle number 7, machine setup. Now, each of the 21 exercises I'm going to show you through the course of this DVD does have its best biomechanical position, a position to reduce your risk of injury and also give you the most strength and the most results. However, you may not have the exact equipment that I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show you how machines may vary, and you can set up machines and adjust the program accordingly, depending on what equipment your facility has. Now, this machine, a compound row, it's a pulling exercise for the back biceps and the back of the shoulders. I'm going to show you this on pull day, this exact machine. But I'm going to show you here 2 different versions just so you can adjust it if you need to. This is a selectorized machine. This has a weight stack on the side of the machine that you can adjust with a 10-pound increment here on the main stack and a 1-pound increment on the side. You can also use like 2.5, 5, 7.5-pound weights you can put on top of the weight stack. Some facilities have that type of equipment. This also has hydraulic seat adjustments. So you squeeze the little handle, the seats adjust. This has a seat adjustment and a chest pad adjustment. So these adjust. There's markings on the seats you can write down, jot that down on your workout cards just to keep track of where your seat is. So you don't need to readjust it each and every time. So this is one version of a compound row. Let me go on to show you another one. Okay, this is another style of machine for the same horizontal rowing exercise. What's different on this though is how you put the resistance on the machine and how you adjust the seat. So seat setting first. This one is no hydraulic handle. All you do is twist the seat like this and lower it if you're tall, raise it if you're short, and you can adjust that. Well, I'll show you how to do that on the pulling day when we actually go through the compound row movement, where to place the seat setting. And always document your seat so you're using the same seat height each and every workout. As far as resistance goes, this is an isolateral machine, so you want to put weight on each side of the machine. And this one, you actually burn some calories while you're putting weight on. This is a 35-pound plate I'm going to put on. Now you notice I didn't take it off, twist, and torque my back to put this on. You actually use it like you're doing an exercise. Lift with your arms, lift with your legs, but not with your back. And this is 35 pounds. I'd put one on each side to make sure I'm symmetrical. And maybe document this like 35'S, like you're writing down 35s, two 35-pound plates when you do this. And weights usually range between 1¼ pounds and up to 100 pounds sometimes. We don't use 100 pounds over here because we don't want people lifting this much weight this high. Most importantly, take off your plates when you're done working out. We have actually signs in front of every piece of equipment here. It says the final repetition makes all the difference. Please rack and return or re-rack and put back your weights when finished. If you're strong enough to put the weights on, use those muscles to take them back off. It's only common courtesy, and the members in your facility as well as the staff will thank you. And that's it for number 7. On to the next. Strength training principle number 8, speed of movement. Now this is such an important concept to understand. I probably should have put it as one of the top 3 strength training principles because most people violate it. Most people move way too quickly during an exercise program. It's okay to move quickly between exercises, to actually go from push-ups to pec fly to chest press to lateral raise, to move quickly between exercises and cut down your rest interval. But once you hit an exercise, move slowly. It's better to move slowly during an exercise and cut out some other exercises than to do them all really fast. You produce a lot less force when you're contracting quickly, believe it or not, and also there's a lot more risk of injury. So if I'm lifting a weight fast, up and down, if I lift a weight up quickly like this, you're actually developing momentum. You're only getting resistance on the muscle through half the range of motion. The rest of it just kind of floats. And if I go quickly on the way back down, there's a lot of stress on the joint and the tendons and the ligaments to stop that movement, especially if you're using more than 12 pounds. But there's 2 types of muscle actions or contractions. You actually lift a weight concentrically. That's lifting a weight against gravity. And I don't care if it's a barbell or a dumbbell or a machine or a body weight exercise. But when you lift a weight concentrically against gravity, that's actually going to take about 2 or 3 seconds. So it's a lot slower than you think it should be. It helps if you have a big clock in front of you. And then when you lower a weight, an eccentric contraction, it's a 4 or 5 second count. It's almost twice as slow. So back down 4 or 5 seconds. A lot slower than you think it should be. So up 2 or 3 and down 4 or 5. And during that eccentric component, when the muscles are lengthening under tension, that's actually where you're getting all the benefit. That's also what makes you a little bit sore. So keep that in mind. You're going to be a little sore during your workouts, but that's part of the process. And it's important to use machines that have both components, both a concentric and an eccentric component to their exercise. That's it for speed of movement. Make sure you obey this principle, and we're on to the next. Strength training principle number 9, proper progression. Now, one of the most fundamental goals of strength training is to increase your strength. And as soon as you're strong enough to properly perform in good form a given number of repetitions for an exercise, it's time to increase the resistance, to challenge your body a little bit more so it can continue to get stronger and bigger and more developed and more toned and with a higher metabolism. So if I could do 80 pounds, say, for 15 repetitions on this exercise, and that was my goal, 15 repetitions, I'd want to increase it for the next workout by maybe 5 or 10%. So either I would do 84 pounds or 88 pounds. So if I want to really challenge myself, I can go up by 10%, 88 pounds. If it doesn't have a 1 pound increment, you could go to 90 or you could put the little plates on top. But a 10% increase, I might only be able to do 11 repetitions or 12 repetitions during the next workout, and I'd want to stay at that weight until I could build myself back up. Now there's different ways of adding variety to your workout with challenging yourself with different like low repetition sets and high repetition sets. And one of the keys for progression is just not always do the same thing. Sometimes do sets of 6 or 8 or 10, sometimes do 15 or 20. Sometimes back off and do nothing. It's great once, maybe every 6 months or so, just to do no exercise whatsoever. Give your body a chance to recover, and sometimes you come back from that week or 2 off stronger than you ever thought possible. That's it for number 9. We're on to the next. Strength training principle number 10, seek professional guidance. Now you are seeking my guidance, and I do like to consider myself a professional. However, I don't know your specific medical situation or if you have any injuries to work around. So I'd really highly recommend finding somebody locally, like a local exercise physiologist or certified personal trainer. And most facilities have some type of a training team wall, some kind of a wall of professional accolades and credentials. And find somebody you trust and somebody that you have a little bit of faith in that can help apply these principles from the DVD to your specific situation. Also, everything on the Training Tricks menu here, there's been a lot of information I've gone through. It's all on our website, healthyintroductions.com. Everything verbally that I've stated is there in writing. And that's it for Training Tricks. On to the rest of the DVD.